Hello, my name is Araceli Molina, and I want to welcome you to another episode of Journeys, our podcast here at Riverside Adult School, where we get to know our staff better. I want to say a couple of words in Spanish for the people that do not speak English yet, for our students. Hola, mi nombre es Araceli Molina. Les quiero dar la bienvenida a nuestro podcast Journeys, un podcast de aquí de nuestra escuela Jurupa Adult School, donde entrevistamos a veces a los estudiantes y a veces al personal que trabaja aquí. Y hoy tenemos a Kris, el doctor Kris Acevedo, que es nuestra persona que está aquí para ayudarnos a inscribirnos en RCC, pero el programa va a ser en inglés, así es de que hay un botoncito que pueden oprimir, que es el closed captioning, donde puede traducirse todo, ¿ok? Gracias por estarnos viendo hoy. Okay, so I want to welcome you, Kris, for being here. I call you Kris because I knew you before you became a doctor, so I don't have to, I guess I could still call you Dr. Kris.
Yeah, that works.
That works, but thank you so much for being here with us today. I know that you are helping our students become, aware that they can go to RCC. But first I want to get to know you a little bit more so that our students and everyone gets to know you so that they can feel more comfortable maybe coming and asking you more questions. So my first question is, what did you want to be when you grew up, and why?
Oh, that's such a great question, and thanks for having me here, Araceli. I'm excited to be here, so thank you for that. What did I want to be growing up? Well, my stepdad, he came into the picture, and he introduced me to basketball. And so growing up, I wanted to go into the NBA. And I didn't quite make it to the NBA, but I did fulfill my dream of playing Division I basketball. I played basketball at University of California, Riverside, so UCR. Go Highlanders. And that's such a great question too, because I think about what I was exposed to, and growing up, before my stepdad came in the picture, it was my mom, and I just wasn't introduced to so many different options of what I can be. Right now, I'm a college educator, so I'm a college professor at Riverside Community College, and I'm a college advisor for our adult ed programs. And that's not what I always wanted to be, but again, I just was never introduced to the possibility of going to school, being an educator, or being a doctor, or a lawyer, a judge, anything I wanted to in the world. I just was never told that, and I feel a lot of times our communities, especially the lower socioeconomic communities, aren't exposed to the knowledge that's out there, how much education is truly power. And so that's what we're doing this, right? As you mentioned, this is what it's all about. So I'm here to share my story and answer any more questions you got for me.
Thank you. Yeah, that is so true, because like you said, a lot of parents don't know. They don't know that by encouraging their kids, reading to their kids, telling them, having these conversations at the dinner table with your kids and saying, what do you want to be when you grow up? Or I believe you can do whatever you want if you really want it and you work hard and you set your mind to it.
Right.
But like you said, a lot of our parents didn't know. My dad, he knew enough to say, I want you to study hard and I want you to work harder, because he was a migrant field worker. So he was like, I don't want you to work in the field. I want you to do better than me, and go to school. I remember my dad saying that to me. And it stays with you when even a teacher or an advisor or someone tells you, go to school. You could do it, right?
Well, yes, wholeheartedly. That's exactly, after my biological dad, when he was out of the picture, I met my stepdad, and same thing. He worked at the warehouses. He still does. He breaks his back 7 days a week, and he always told me, go to school. You can do it. But that was great encouragement. There just was never the details on how to go about that, right? And so that's why I feel being a college advisor, that's what I'm here for, to not just encourage, but break down the details of how to do it. Application, registration, class scheduling, parking permit, ID card, campus tour, programs.
It's intimidating. It could be intimidating for a lot of people if you don't know where to start.
Yeah, it definitely
how do I apply for college? How do I do this?
Yeah, no.
So when did you actually know that you wanted to choose this career? When did you decide, or when did you?
Yeah, no, going, when I was in high school, I had some of my classmates, they said, they wanted to be teachers, and I never saw myself doing that. But when I graduated from UCR, I was actually the athletics advisor for RCC. And I was walking in the aquatic center one day, and I saw this, 6'4" white guy just doing laps. And it turns out he was the department chair for communication studies. And he told me, Kris, you'd be a great professor. You should look into it. I said, great, I already have my bachelor's degree. What do I got to do? He said, well, you got to get your master's. And I did not want to go back to school, but, I'm glad I did. And now today I'm a communication studies professor and a college advisor. So it's...
Did you go back to him? Did you ever tell him that he inspired you? And
Oh, all the time.
Okay, good.
He told me, go get your master's, right? And I stayed in connection with him. 2 years later, I said, hey, his name is Cliff. I said, Cliff, I'm done. Where do I sign up? And he said, wow, has it been 2 years already? So the very next semester, he gave me a class.
Oh my
And so now I teach at RCC, Norco College, MSJC. So it's such a blessing, and I'm so glad I went through it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is amazing. Well,
Yeah.
I love RCC. My niece, my nephew, my daughter, my son,
Yeah.
all graduated from RCC and
Woo.
went on to colleges. So
That's the way.
RCC.
That's the way.
I love RCC. It's so much, more accessible, right? But it's just a lot of people don't know how to get there. So who can go to RCC?
Great transition question, Araceli. And anyone can go to RCC. Whether you are a California resident, a non-California resident, international student, out of state, documented, undocumented, anyone can go to RCC. We are what's considered a open access California community college public institution. In other words, anyone can go.
Okay, when you said undocumented, that hits home here, especially with our community. So you don't have to have a green card, you don't have to be a U.S. citizen, you can go to RCC.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
You can absolutely go to RCC. And even if you are, let's say, in the process of getting your green card or getting your documentation status or what have you, there are still other courses and programs at RCC you can do. For example, we have non-credit classes and credit classes. Quick difference, non-credit is free, credit you may have to pay out of pocket. So,
Okay.
but you can still go. It's there. It's there for all of our students.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, now we know. Okay,
Right.
so we can tell our friends and our family.
Yes.
A lot of times people might know. I would probably be like, I can't go because I don't have documents, and how am I going to show up at
Mhm.
college?
Right.
Some of our students were even intimidated to come here. And you don't need documents to go to school then. So that's really, really good. You can start school without documents.
And we actually have at RCC a Undocu Allies Club, specifically for our undocumented students. We also do an undocumented student action week. We have a student parent club. We have CalWorks, Next Up, EOPS, adult education. There are so many programs and resources to help our students in our communities, right? Especially our Hispanic students, because RCC, we're an HSI, Hispanic Serving Institution. So 70% of our students are Hispanic, Latino, Latinx, whatever have you. We are, we're brown. And
See,
we
and if you
students.
feel like you're going to be left out, you're not. You're going to blend in. No one's going to know you don't have documents. No one's going to know, you're going to be fine.
Definitely.
And that's why we do this, to inform
yeah.
our students that there's so much more you can do. If you have a dream, go for it. You don't have to stop, right?
I've had students here at Harupa, Riverside, Alvaro Adult School. They're at RCC right now,
Yeah.
and they're doing it. ESL classes, early childhood education classes, English classes, communication. I mean, they're doing it.
And time flies. You just take a class at a time, and before you know it, you're done. You know?
Yeah.
You just do one at a time. Even
Right.
if it's slow, you just start doing it.
Right.
Well, let me see. Another question I have for you is, what is the most important? This is a tough question, I think,
Ooh,
if you're not prepared.
Okay. Let me
So
see.
what is, I'm not trying to scare you
Let me
here.
get ready. All right.
What is the most important lesson that you have learned in life?
Whew.
And then you can
Important
make
lesson.
it professional, personal, whatever you like.
The concept of failure. So I always thought, when you don't make the team, or when you don't make the grades, or if you get kicked out of school, or if you don't pass a class, or if you don't get that job, you didn't do well in the interview, that doesn't mean you failed. Growing as I'm older now, I'm 30 years old, I realized failure is only when you stop trying. And that right there is the greatest lesson that I want to share with you and our students. Failure is only when you stop trying. So you didn't get that job interview, apply again or apply elsewhere. You didn't pass that class, take it again, pass it to next time, go get tutoring, go to office hours. You got kicked out of school, well, go to another school or try to get back in.
Don't give up.
Don't give
right?
up. It's essentially that saying, right? Don't give up, right? And I always thought, something happened, so I'm a failure, right? Well, you're only a failure when you stop trying.
Yeah.
So keep going and don't give up. I know we've heard it so many times, but it's really true. You just gotta keep going. Time is gonna fly. You gotta keep going.
Even if no one else believes in you, you have to believe in yourself. You have to say, I can do this and I want to do this, and you have to just get up and keep on going. It's like a little kid that's learning to ride a bike. You're going to fall, but what do? If you put the bike away, you're never going to learn. And if you get back on that bike, you can do it.
Absolutely.
That's life.
Or you're 100%. I totally agree with you on that. You got to keep going.
That's so good, because that's what we're here for, How many times do you try? I mean, I personally tried to get a job at a school, at the school district in 2008. From 2008 to 2010, it took me 2 years because the economy was so bad. I applied at every district, and I remember I had people make fun of me and be like, you're going to go to another test or another interview, but they only hire one, out of 80. But you know what? It's going to happen. It's going to happen sooner or later, and I'm here now, So that's what I always tell people. Don't give up. If you want a job at the district, go for it. Keep trying. Don't take no for an answer. You just keep trying, and your time will come.
Araceli, yes. And, a story just, about my education. So I'm the oldest out of 6, the first in my family to go to college. So I'm a first generation student, oldest out of 6. I went to UC Riverside, and my first year, because I took basketball so serious, I didn't take my academics serious. So I was actually dismissed from UCR, which means I was kicked out of school. I lost my academic scholarship. I lost my athletic scholarship. I was sleeping in my friend's closet, on the low, trying to be sneaky about it. And I was kicked out of school. And I didn't want to tell my mom because she had me on this pedestal. And, long story short, I got readmitted. I got back into school. And I'll never forget my counselor. I asked her, what can I do to get back in? And she told me, school may not be for people like you. You might want to look into going into the military.
Oh, my goodness.
And I took that to heart because, again, I didn't see anyone who looked like me. And that's why that representation and conversation piece, that really does matter. And so us having these conversations, representing our students, our communities, never giving up, being resilient, right? Failure is only when you stop trying is so huge. Especially it's in our blood, right? We got to keep going. We don't give up. We've worked so hard. You mentioned your dad or your grandpa, and my dad, and he's in the warehouse. My mom works at Walmart. We got to keep going. Yeah. Right, it's to break these generational curses.
And there's nothing wrong with being hardworking. On the contrary, I look up to my dad for being such a hard worker, for working in those fields, for doing everything that he had to do to support us. And he did a great job.
Yeah.
But you know what? Just like I wanted my kids to do better than me, every parent wants their kids to do better. And now there's more possibilities than before.
Oh, yeah.
And I just want to say thank you so much for sharing that, because not everyone is willing to share their failure that they had.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's not about the failure. It's about now. Now you're Dr. Acevedo. Like, your mom must be so proud. Like, and not just your mom, but you, because you know that it took a long time. But the good thing is that you're not forgetting. You're not forgetting that you failed, so that one day when you get a student that might fail, you're never going to say anything bad about it. You're going to be like encouraging instead of, right? So thank you.
Oh my gosh,
thank you so much for this podcast, Kris.
Yes, of course.
And if you want to come see Kris, what do they have to do?
I am here at Harupa Adult School every Thursday from 1 to 6:30. Our office staff here and our teachers, I will send them a bookings link. You can book an appointment or just come in and do a walk-in. You don't have to make an appointment. I mean, it's just, more streamlined to do that. But you can come in anytime you want. Again, Thursdays, 1 to 6:30, and I'm here.
You could also call us on Thursdays, and you can ask if he's available, and then we'll just come in here and ask him if he's available, and he's here for you.
Yes. So if you're feeling intimidated, like Araceli mentioned earlier, or you're scared, or you just don't know, you don't know where to start, come see me. Even if you're not ready to go the next semester, even if it's a year or 2 years from now, come and talk to me.
Even for questions.
Yeah, we can start a plan now. Right? Come in, bring your friend or bring a family member or bring your son or daughter so you feel more comfortable. It's all good. Just come and let's just talk. That's how it starts.
Thank you so much, Kris.
Of course.
It's a great podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'm excited to see more students coming, so I'm excited for it.
Yes, and once again, thank you for watching another episode of Journeys. Have a great day.
See you, everyone.
Bye-bye.